my husband and I do a community radio station show called Book, Stage and Screen. So we're both writers, and we thought we'd do this so that we got to meet other good creative people. It's like, I guess, community television. You pitch them an idea, and if there's a slot available, you pay your fees, and then they train you, and then you do just a half-hour little test, and then if they think you're ready, then they let you go on air.
Oh, like a little pilot sort of?
Yeah, you just go in and record it, and they listen to it and give you some feedback. There's only a few switches, so it's not too hard. We haven't had any dead air yet, thank God. And yeah, then you go in, and depending on what kind of show you do, you organise it yourself.
Do they train you as well?
Yeah, there is a training process. You go and look at a show, an established show, and then you sit with the training manager, and they just take you through what the switches are, levels and things like that. I can't remember what the exact inspiration was. We thought it was a really good idea to be able to talk to people that we might like to talk to, and as it turns out, we haven't had anyone say no to us yet. We've spoken to some very successful authors and producers and people on stage. And I think that's because we sort of approach it that, you know, we're very positive, we want to promote your work, and we also want to share your tips and how you started to sort of help other ones coming up. Well, it's been wonderful in terms of, I really enjoyed the book The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson. He's a local Melbourne author, and I guess one thing that interested us about him was that he did the RMIT screenwriting course, tried to write a movie called The Rosie Project, nobody would make it, so he thought he'd write a book, and he sold 6 million copies of it, and now he's writing the screenplay of his own book. So we got to interview him on his latest book, so that was really exciting.
Well, I used to play basketball and I still like it, but I play it often, but I don't play it professionally anymore. I stopped at about like grade 5. Well, I was going to play tennis, and now I'm playing tennis professionally. Well, I started playing lessons when I was 10, and now I'm playing professionally in a competition. So there's basically a tournament which goes from 2016 to 2017 that you play in all these matches. Yeah, I really feel like I could continue playing tennis.
Well, I wanted to start cheerleading because I heard of a couple of my friends who did cheerleading. We started competitions last year, around the middle of the year. The first competition was Winterfest. Winterfest Senior Level 1 all-girl first place and grand champions. So we got grand champions at our first competition. Well, at the end of last year, Outlaws had tryouts to go to NCA, which is the biggest competition in the world. So it's the national one, it's in America. And I tried out for the Level 1 team and I got in, so at the start of this year I got to go to America for a competition, and we came 4th. I started gymnastics a few years ago, and then I came back to it this year. Yeah, well, I train about 5 to 6 times a week, sometimes more if it's like close to a competition.
And is that for an hour?
Or sometimes quite a lot more. Like, I remember last week, right before my gym comp, I think I trained 15 hours that week. Well, in the future, I want to become a coach, a gymnastics coach.
Oh, very good.
I'm not quite sure what else I want to do. I might maybe look into like becoming a doctor or a police officer or something like that.
2 weeks ago I had an operation on my toes because best way to describe it is probably my toes went like in the wrong direction, like most people's go straight, mine went inwards. So basically they had to break my toes to correct the position.
The big ones?
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah, I had that from birth. So most people get it from like high heels or whatever when they're older, but I was just born with it. They just said that if the longer I hold it off, the worse it would get, and they just said if like the pain is interrupting like what I do, and if it stops me from doing activities, that I should probably get it done. So the operation itself, it wasn't that painful. Like obviously there's pain that will come with any operation, but it wasn't that bad, bearable. Well, basically I have to wear these shoes for another about 3 weeks, he said. And after that, I can slowly start wearing normal shoes, and then it just like will come like when I kind of feel I can get back into sport after that. So probably about 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. I play for Beaumaris Soccer Club. I wouldn't say I'm advanced. It just kind of like a family thing. Like both my sisters play or have played soccer. My dad was quite good at soccer. My whole family plays. And well, this year we made it to the grand final. We unfortunately didn't win, but we got a medal for coming second because, you know, it's a big thing, second in the state for our teams. At my soccer club, it was a gala day, which is like, you know, big awards, games, all that. And 2 soccer players came from Melbourne Victory, which is the team I go for, and they signed the ball. Don't let what, you know, this world is like get to you. Like, you know, so many things can just like become a bigger problem than they are, and they just don't need to be. So, you know, just kind of resilience is always the key. So like all these little problems that seem like massive problems now will probably not matter in 5-10 years time. You just laugh about it.